Welcome to the Israel Daily News Podcast. I'm your host, Shanna Fold, and I'm here to get you caught up quickly. I've got some top news stories for you today from Israel, and guess what? You're listening, so you're already on top of your game. Survive and thrive, people. Knowledge is the best weapon. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025 in the Gregorian calendar and the 8th of Iyar in the Hebrew calendar. I'm a little sick today with a head cold, but there is so much to share coming out of Israel. So now, let's get to the news. Prime Minister Binyamin Netanyahu says the military will continue to stay put in Gaza in captured areas until all the goals of the war are reached. In a video posted on his personal X account, Netanyahu said this recommendation came at the expense of IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, and the cabinet voted to approve the expanded operations as well. Operation Gideon's Chariots is the return of our hostages and defeat of Hamas rule. That's what he says. Some cabinet ministers took it a step further than the prime minister and used the term occupy, sending ripples of news throughout the world that Israel is set to occupy Gaza. Reporter Barak Ravid of Axios released an article with the headline, quote, Israel plans to occupy and flatten all of Gaza if no deal by Trump's trip. End quote. I'll read you his writing. Israel has set President Trump's visit to the Middle East next week as a deadline for a new hostage and ceasefire deal, with a massive ground operation to commence if no deal is reached, Israeli officials say. Why it matters. Israel's security cabinet approved a plan Sunday night to gradually reoccupy all of Gaza and hold it indefinitely if no deal is reached by May 15th. Plans for the operation call for the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, to flatten any buildings that remain standing and displace virtually the entire population of 2 million people to a single, quote, humanitarian area. End quote. Ravid goes on to write this. The big picture. The return to full-fledged war would come after Israel already cut off all supplies of food, water, and medicine for civilians in Gaza after the ceasefire broke down 2 months ago. In response to this, reports are coming out from top Hamas officials saying there's no sense in hostage ceasefire talks amid the hunger war in Gaza. I like where it says why it means something or why it's important in the Axios report. So I read that for you there. We will keep you posted on what's going on in Gaza through our lens. The cabinet has rejected an official state probe of the October 7th attacks and is said to be legislating a special commission instead. In a letter to the government, Attorney General Gali Bahar of Miara said that it, quote, must decide how to investigate the failures leading up to, during, and after the Hamas invasion and atrocities that killed 1,200 people, mostly civilians, saw 251 abducted as hostages to Gaza, and triggered the ongoing war, end quote. She also argues that a formal state commission of inquiry was the most appropriate way to handle the probe, and that delaying a decision on this matter is harmful. Other public commissions, such as a governmental commission of examination, can be appointed, but they have narrower powers than a state commission and are seen as more political, since the members are appointed by government. Prime Minister Netanyahu has repeatedly ruled out an investigation into the attack until the war is over. The IDF has begun demolishing homes in the Nur Shams and Tulkarem refugee camps in the West Bank as part of a 3-month counter-terror operation. Palestinian media claimed residents were given just 2 hours to evacuate, while Israel's Kogat said they had around 5. They say 15 homes are set to be destroyed today. This is the largest demolition wave in the Tulkarem area since the operation began. Palestinian reports say approximately 25,000 people have already been displaced from these two camps. The move signals an escalation in Israel's military activity in the region. Israel demolishes the homes of individuals who have carried out terror attacks on Israelis. That is the way that they punish them. 20 Israeli fighter jets struck Houthi targets in Yemen on Monday night. This was in response to the Houthi attack on Ben Gurion Airport on Sunday. It was an alarming rocket that got me out of bed and really shook me up personally and everybody else in the center. The port city of Hodeidah serves as a major resource for Houthi infrastructure in Yemen and is used for the transportation of their weapons. The rocket that the Houthis sent to Israel touched down in the area of Ben Gurion Airport, and this caused multiple airlines to cancel their flights up until May 11th or May 12th. United has canceled flights from Newark until Thursday, May 8th, and from Tel Aviv until Friday, May 9th. Air India has suspended flights throughout tomorrow, and LOT Polish Airlines has suspended flights until at least Wednesday. El Al has capped one-way fares to Tel Aviv through May 17th on the Larnaca, Athens, Thessaloniki, Rome, Barcelona, Paris, London, and New York routes because they've recently come under fire for taking advantage of being the only airline bold enough to fly during wartime and turbulence. And El Al has also reinforced planes that can withstand ammunition flying at it. I don't know if you knew that, but those planes actually protect you if there is ammunition coming at you. So a lot of people feel that it's the safest way to fly. It's something that only an Israeli airline carrier would need to consider. Sunday's rocket attack was pretty shocking, and we have an interview with Raina Greenfest, who was flying from Florida into Tel Aviv when she saw the rocket crash down through her plane window as she was landing. Raina Greenfest is an Israeli-American civil engineer. Born in New Mexico and raised in Nahariya, she served in the IDF and graduated from the Technion University, spending the past 2 decades shaping the solar industry. We spoke with Raina in a recorded interview and got her story about what it was like seeing the rocket touch down from such a close distance. Raina, tell me what happened when your plane was landing.
The passengers were just getting ready to collecting our stuff. We've been on a plane for 12 hours and everybody's tired. And I continued to talk to my sister, and I'm just gazing out the window, and I saw it happen. And my mouth dropped. I was trying to process what I was looking at. I literally saw the missile hit the ground. I didn't physically see a missile. I just saw something hit the ground. And then this huge plume of like brown and reddish sand just flew up in the sky, like a volcanic kind of eruption. And I'm just processing, and it just felt surreal. And mind you, I'm in a plane and nobody else is saying a word. And I'm thinking, did I just see what I just saw? And then this big plume of smoke comes out of the same spot. And I said to my sister, I just saw it hit. And she's like, no, calm down. You didn't see anything. And I knew what I saw. I hung up. I took that picture of mine, and I just was, I was in shock. I didn't know what to do or say. And I look around, and it was a really surreal situation because nobody else saw what I saw, at least in my vicinity. And then we were kind of ushered off the plane in a very casual, calm manner. So I don't know. At that point, I was still processing what was going on, what was happening. The whole situation was emotional, but not alarming. It was more like confusing. And then we walked through the terminal, and everybody knows, the conveyor, the walking conveyor, and there are all the pictures of the hostages that are still in Gaza, and that was what I was anticipating. And that's what I was actually looking forward to, being here finally, since I haven't been back since October 7th, and being able to really embrace and grasp the magnitude of the situation. And I paused at a few of the posters and I looked at the images, and I just felt, though, that we needed to keep going, that there was something else happening and that we needed to just keep walking. This wasn't the right time. And then I look to my side and I see about 50 workers jammed like sardines into this like shelter area. And a security guard, a female woman, was like with her hands out, and she said, "We're at capacity, like go, 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 like you can't, there's no room in here." And they were. And it was also quite odd because we were just strolling through a vacated terminal. Everything is computerized, so there wasn't really much need for people to help escort us. And we walked into the conveyor area to get our luggage. And of course, there was no luggage because the luggage was still on the plane, and no planes were landing. And it just got quiet. And then I had a moment to actually check my phone, and everybody else was doing the same. And that's when we all were like comparing notes, and everybody was talking and chatting. And that's sort of when Hasimon Nafal, like when the light bulb started a little bit to go off. And I said, I saw it happen. It was literally a quarter of a mile from where I was sitting. It could have. I didn't go into what could have happened, but I was just more processing what just happened, and not knowing anything else other than the trains were stopped, the airport was shut down. It was quite strange, but also oddly comforting. Everybody around me was calm, nice. I felt safe. I felt that whatever is happening, I'm with good people. They were all complete strangers to me. I was flying solo, and nobody was actually waiting for me to pick me up. My plan was to get on the train and go north all the way to Nahariya, where my mother was waiting for me. So I was on my own, but did not feel lonely.
Thank you, Raina, for sharing your intense experience with us at the Israel Daily News. I want to thank all of you for your interest in Israeli affairs, Israeli politics, our world politics. I also want to thank all of you who personally finance and fund the Israel Daily News podcast with monthly contributions. You can support us with contributions by going over to our new website, israeldailynews.org, and clicking on donate. The Patreon link is over there, and you can send us a monthly donation using the Patreon link. There's also options for one-time donations. Our organization is operational thanks to listeners and supporters like you. I'll send over a handwritten thank you note to show my appreciation, but make sure that I have your address. I'm looking for a couple of people who have sent donations over, but I don't have your address. I think you know who you are. Make sure that you send that to us. Follow us on social media at israeldaily.news. We're on X, YouTube, TikTok, and on Instagram. Our page is about to hit 15,000 followers. You can also follow my personal journey on Instagram at Shanna Fold. My name has 2 N's in it, and I'm very sensitive about that. Palestinian poet Mossab Abu Toha has won the Pulitzer Prize for commentary for his essays in The New Yorker about life in Gaza during the ongoing war, praised for blending deep reporting with personal memoir. His writing captures the trauma and devastation endured by Palestinians since the October 7th, 2023 massacre in Israel and the fallout thereafter. He mentions his 30 deceased relatives and calls for justice and peace. He doesn't mention the remaining Israeli hostages. The Pulitzer Board also recognized Palestinian AFP photographers as finalists for their images of life in Gaza amid destruction. Well, from one journalist and writer to another, writing and good art is writing and good art. No one can ever deny your feelings or experiences if you write them from your first-person perspective, and that's exactly what this poet did. All right. Well, that is it for today's show. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Tel Aviv has a low of 17 degrees Celsius and a high of 24 degrees. That's 62 degrees Fahrenheit for the low, going up to 76 degrees for the high. We are everywhere. Don't forget to sign up to our Israel Weekly News Wrap. The Israel Weekly News Wrap is a newsletter with the top 5 stories coming out of Israel from throughout the week, and of course with a personal note from me at the top. You can sign up for that at israeldailynews.org. I'll send you off today with a song that is called Lo Hakol Binary. Not everything is binary. It's new to the Israel Daily News, and it's been written and produced by Tiferet Cohen. I met Tiferet while covering the Yom HaZikaron Memorial event last week, and she allowed me to interview her while others refused to talk to me that night. She had a beautiful energy, and it turns out that she makes and produces music. She says this song is about how sometimes we feel things must mean something specific. It needs to be black, white, yes, no, success or failure, but it's actually far from the truth. There's a lot in between. This is a song she sings to herself when she needs that reminder. Not everything is binary. Enjoy this song and have a great and productive day and an excellent week. Shavua Tov, everyone.
גם אם קצת כועסת וקשה לי לחבק, ואם אני שותקת זה לא אומר שכדאי שתתרחק. גם אם התעייפתי ועוצרת לנשימה, ואם אני נחנקת במקום לדבר זולגת לי דמעה. לא הכל בינארי, לא שחור לבן, כישלון או הצלחה, זה רק שלקחתי רגע זווית חדשה לבחון את התמונה. גם אם קצת מעורערת מטשטש לי כל הטוב, לא אל תחשוב אחרת, זה לא אומר שהפסקתי לאהוב. לא הכל בינארי, לא שחור לבן, כישלון או הצלחה, זה רק שלקחתי רגע זווית חדשה לבחון את התמונה. לא, זה לא אומר שרע לי, זה לא שחור